Like, listen, all right, I don't like Stanley.
Stanley, the Navy man, thinks he's so wise. He reads all
I think the only person I have been
with
Stanley.
in his eyes, been still so wild, like ships in the sky. But whose words
And Nate, Stanley doesn't state the obvious. Like,
You don't think one parent influence is detrimental?
Yes, he does.
I literally said they need to understand that it's a white people problem.
Okay, it's called Stanley versus the world.
And just assume their character by stereotype?
I think people do that every day.
Okay, I didn't ask you.
What do I think it's okay?
Family and fellow soldiers, I'm the professor, and this is the moment of truth.
You call him a child? Did you call the child
Business.
It is my own business. You call him Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
A few moments later.
Your city attorney has filed 3 disorderly conduct charges against a Rochester woman who allegedly called a 5-year-old the N-word at Roy Sutherland Playground. Those charges come almost 4 months after the incident.
Soon after.
The verdict is in the trial of Shiloh Hendrix, who was accused of disorderly conduct for calling a black child a racial slur at a Rochester park in April of 2025. The jury finding her not guilty of the disorderly conduct charge against the minor child, but did find her guilty of the disorderly conduct charge against the adult cameraman, the defense expressing his displeasure with the result tonight.
This entire thing's a shakedown. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. The prosecutor should be ashamed of himself. The judge should be ashamed of herself. I had a battle here for 4 days on a stupid misdemeanor disorderly conduct. This is nuts.
Oh, it's the butthurt round the world. Let the predictable white racist whining begin.
I don't think calling someone a name should ever be considered a crime, right? Even if it's offensive or whatever, that there should never be any circumstance in which it's considered a crime.
People are saying this is not two-tier justice. This all falls under this law. Well, then how come every time a black person says the N-word?
Right.
It's the same word.
If you look at this, she got very lucky. She got a $1,000 fine, 90-day jail sentence stayed. You look at Chud the Builder, the guy that was assaulted outside of the courtroom or whatever, you know, and then he shot the guy, and now the guy can't get a bail bond.
Only one people are allowed to say this one word.
100%.
This is legal protection for that incident.
And there's people like Carmelo Anthony that actually killed somebody on a high school campus and was able to get a bail bond. But a guy that said the N-word and that was attacked.
Well, I don't even know if they're applying it just because of the word or they're saying because of the way that she interacted.
They're applying this law because she's white. Absolutely.
So it seems like the N-word is like the third rail. It's like the most powerful thing you can say and the most penalized thing that you can do. And
they give it a lot of power.
And I don't want to live in a society where we enable people to go out and commit misdeeds, commit little crimes to trigger reaction, and then they get to play victim. That's how the system has been abused.
Then he ought to be really angry about Chud the Builder, right? Oh. And you hear what they say about, I don't think that ever calling someone a name should ever be a crime. These are the same scumbags who they want to criminalize, calling them racist. You shouldn't be able to call somebody a racist no matter how racist they are. These are the guys who want to criminalize every form of speech. Look what moron DeSantis did down in Florida. If you actually dare to say that racism exists, they made that into a crime. At least for teachers they did. You couldn't even say that the founders of the United States were racists and slave owners. Oh, you can't say that oppression exists. That's a crime. They criminalized that in Florida. And did any of these scumbags have a problem with that? Of course not. And now their chickens are coming home to roost. Ah, the whinging, moaning, and caterwauling of the white right. It's music to my ears. Jesse Jackson used to say, keep hope alive. Well, the white supremacists are trying to keep cope alive. But you notice what the morons on Tim Fool's Little Sewer said. They're bringing up Chud the Builder, bringing up all these other cases. And the lie about Chud the Builder being attacked, it just goes to show these morons tell themselves all kinds of frauds and lies and fairy tales. They just repeat this garbage to themselves. And they think because their empty-headed audience likes it, well, that means it's real somehow. And then reality hits them in the mouth and they don't know what to do. This is the white right trying to do their own half-brain version of conjuring magic like the white media does. But in this case, their bag of tricks is empty and all they can do is rage. Shiloh Hendrix made headlines for hurling racial slurs on a playground at a child. The white racist trash began sending her their state mental health disability checks, and she thought that made her a hero. But at least one prosecutor in Minneapolis actually decided to do their job for a change and charged the heifer with 2 counts of disorderly conduct. And last week, she was convicted on one of those counts. The court sentenced her to supervised probation, 200 hours of community service, and she's ordered to pay a $1,000 fine. What's interesting to me is you got the white supremacists running around saying, oh, she was in danger of going to prison. No, she wasn't. These were misdemeanor charges. The whole nation was watching, however, and that's the part that they're really upset about. A high-profile humiliation like this humbles not only this skank, but also her degenerate white supremacist supporters. Now, the racists are saying that the verdict doesn't matter anyway because she did the white racist grift where you say racist crap about black people and then watches the inbred send what few pennies they got. So she's got a little bit of money now, certainly more than $1,000, so it doesn't matter, right? Except if that's the case, why the world are they complaining so much? Why are they so outraged? It's all much to do about nothing, right? The white right, as part of their regular delusional rantings, are saying that she's a free speech martyr. I guess this is their psychological consolation prize. No, stupid. A free speech martyr is someone who challenges power. Shiloh Hendrix is just a garden variety racist, which explains why these white racists are supporting her. She's no more a free speech martyr than someone who's cursing and throwing racial slurs at the airport or at a school or any other public venue. And she was treated far more leniently than people who have done far less. And what about her attorney? Whoever the hell this court-appointed shyster is, he should be ashamed. And if she was dumb enough to pay him, then she deserves every penny that she's lost. If he couldn't beat these charges, especially with a white jury, then it's just time to hand in your law degree and go start your new career over at the Waffle House. But he'd probably find a way to screw that up too. I don't get it. These white supremacists are whining that this doesn't mean anything and why she's guaranteed to get this verdict overturned on appeal. Well, if it really means nothing, then why are they all upset about it? After all, it's a misdemeanor charge. And yet her shyster attorney, who couldn't even beat a couple of misdemeanor charges, he's talking about appeals. And the reason he's doing all that is because he knows she's still got some money left over from these morons. And in the end, he'll be billing her until he gets it all. Now, if this heifer had been smart, well, if she was smart, she would never have acted the way she did. But if she did have any remaining brain cells left, she would have simply taken the money from the online racists, then told the DAs that she wanted to enter a very quiet plea deal if the prosecutors would basically just give her a slap on the wrist, just give her a tidy fine, or not even a fine, just go ahead and give her some sort of probation and not have to split the money with a lawyer at all. Because truth be told, this whole thing ended that way anyway. This is exactly what would have happened if she had simply taken a plea deal regardless. Well, it just goes to show that the thug cops over in the Adams County Sheriff's Department, you know, the guys who tried to racially harass Afro Man, they're not the only idiots who thought to themselves that if they went to court, things would go their way. It wasn't worth the money that she lost going to trial, and it certainly won't be worth an appeal either. But as Gordon Gekko said, a fool and his money never should have been together in the first place. This is the cost of white fragility. She was a belligerent fool on a playground, and now she's been humiliated all over again. But her so-called supporters, these morons never learn. They think that they can win battles in the real world with online memes. Copying and pasting racist talking points and downvoting things they don't like, that crap may be cute online, but it means absolutely nothing in the real world. But for these guys, hate speech, that is their definition of free speech. They never mention it at any other time for any other subject. People get dragged out of public meetings all the time by the police, usually white, and not surprisingly, none of these so-called free speech advocates ever says a word about that. Yeah, they're only concerned about free speech if it means insulting or threatening a black person. That's free speech. But why does this verdict scare them? Because that's what this really is. As I've always taught you, whenever you see somebody who's out here getting angry about something, the first question you should ask is, what is this person afraid of? Because most manifestations of anger are rooted in fear. Well, what scares these white supremacists is that it could be them next because they act just like her. White supremacy means supreme, and that means it cannot be touched under any circumstances. Yeah, well, this heifer got touched. These creeps get traumatized whenever racism is punished, especially when anti-black slurs are punished. Remember the case of Corey Pujols, the Dunkin' Donuts manager in Florida who killed a child rapist after the scumbag called him the N-word? The white supremacists hated that he walked, but then again, he should never have been charged in the first place. He was a hero. He stopped a child rapist and he defended his own coworkers and himself, but instead he had some trumped up charges brought against him by a crooked prosecutor who wound up having to basically walk away in the end anyway. Now, if the racists want to be angry about someone getting prosecuted, what happened to Corey Pujols is something they should have been up in arms about. Oh, but they like racist slurs against black people, so of course they were claiming that was free speech. It was wrong that he got killed, so now you can kill a white person for saying the N-word. Well, that certainly didn't seem to scare Shiloh Hendrix any, now did it? And then there was the case of Jussie Smollett. Millions of taxpayer dollars wasted, and that on charges that were essentially misdemeanors, and yet the white media nationwide wanted to cover it. A third-rate actor on a second-rate show, and yet the white media was acting like, oh, this is going to be the OJ trial. That's because they already knew that the fix was in. That's the only reason that they were there. None of the white racists who were whining that this racist puke Hendrix was rightly charged and convicted were saying how stupid it was that Jussie Smollett was not only charged, but actually put on trial for an allegedly false police report. I don't know how much money it cost to prosecute Shiloh Hendrix, but I know it was nowhere near the millions of dollars that were wasted on trumped-up charges against Jussie Smollett. That was political, but it was also something that the white racists had no interest in speaking out on. The white supremacists are furious about this, and it's good to see. They should be laughing it off, but they can't because they don't know how to laugh off taking an L. They're furious because they know that if they wind up in the same situation as Hendrix, there's probably not going to be some gang of bigots who float them some GoFundMe money. And you know what else isn't going to happen? Shiloh Hendrix doing this again. If she was really so bold, then she would be spouting racial slurs to the world the second that the verdict was handed down. But she's not. Instead, she's real quiet these days. Real quiet. She's been whipped, chastised, and humiliated. You couldn't pay that piece of dirt to throw any racial slurs now, and that's because she knows better. This is what happens when a white supremacist gets spanked. And yes, before anyone mentions it, I do know that the victims of this crime were Somalians. Yeah, the same people who have always told foundational Black Americans that they are not Black, that they're Somalian. And yet when a white racist calls them slurs, suddenly they become Black. And they also appealed to a legal structure that we fought for and that we did battle to put in place. And I certainly hope that any Black immigrants who came to the U.S. are listening to this. The laws that these Somalians turn to get justice are laws that don't exist in other countries where the Somalians immigrate to. You don't see these laws in places like Germany. You don't see it in Scandinavia. You don't see it in Britain. And there's a good reason for that. These Black immigrants go to these other countries, but they don't fight white power. They instead decide that they're going to play the game of, well, we're just going to try to find a way to fit in. So in other countries, the racists do whatever they want, say whatever they want. And these guys try to pretend to themselves as if it's not as bad as all that. They lie to themselves and say, well, I mean, that kind of thing doesn't happen here that often. Yeah, like we saw at the BAFTAs, right? It doesn't happen often at all, right? Except all the time. And it's just a fact. Foundational Black Americans are built different. We made it where disrespecting us carries a price. Think about that the next time you want to get angry when we call out disrespect from the diaspora.
What I feel would have been more appropriate was not probation or paying a fine, would have been jail time to 60 days jail time, to send the message that if you hurt our children in our parks, we're going to hold you accountable.
People need to understand the entire reason that the current Rochester NAACP president, Wally Betty, felt very emboldened to say what he said is because we had already made it safe for him to do so. Oh, and on a side note, I think that the Nigerian Wally Betty, you should know that he's running for mayor of Rochester. Well, that must be why he's so eager to get in front of the cameras. And while he's running for mayor, we also get a chance to meet his wonderful, nice family, like the United Colors of Bennington. But the point happens to be this man is using laws that he didn't fight for in a country that he did not found. I hope that he at least remembers that the next time that any Nigerian forms their mouths to say that foundational Black Americans don't work hard or that foundational Black Americans are somehow lacking or deficient. I'm just saying. because we all noticed that these Somalians weren't spouting the usual, well, I'm a hardworking immigrant and there's no racism in America. It was unkind, but no, these guys are the ones saying we demand justice. What does justice look like? Well, we want these white folks punished. But the white supremacists, they're scared and they're angry, and they know that next time this could and probably will be one of them, to which I would tell them, obey the law and nothing will happen. Besides, this Shiloh puke, she got off a lot easier than Vonell Cook did, so count your blessings. Meanwhile, the white supremacists can hold this L again. We've gone from white lies to white cries, but the noise is no less loud or stupid. And to think, a year ago, trash like Matt Walsh were praising Shiloh Hendrix as being the end of white guilt. But, as this verdict showed, it was only the beginning. Good day, and be one. I'd like to...
Well, welcome everyone. Stanley versus the world. My voice is still a little shaky, but we will soldier through. The reason I showed this is I was on CM's over in CM's chat earlier, like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes ago. And it is just amazing to me how horrible, at least in my YouTube experience, both sides of this argument are. You got the white folks going, well, black people say it. And then you got black people saying, hey, when we say it, it means something different. It's like, I was listening to some dude over on CM's panel. These motherfuckers know nothing about race in America, how race has functioned historically in the United States, and they know nothing about culture, what culture is, how it works, etc. And I really think it's intentional. The American public school system, and probably the private school system such as it is, we are educating what America means at a cultural level out of existence. And the result is going to be a Seymour or a Da Emperor or a John Galt. Dude, this shit is slowly unraveling. And in my opinion, it's mostly because of stupidity. We're just not teaching these people. And then, the other thing that struck me is I wasn't aware that apparently it was an all-white jury that convicted this woman, which I find somewhat satisfying. And then the third thing that I've noticed in my limited experience, Somalis actually are not that bad when it comes to denying, blackness once you get into the United States. I know a guy, I haven't talked to him in years at this point, but he's right over in Atlanta in one of those hoods, right along I-20, right around, I guess it's Morehouse Medical. He lives right in that area. And he says, hey, I identify as black. I live in the hood, basically. Ilhan Omar, there's no way she doesn't know she's black. Excuse me. And Somalis, in my limited experience, I'm just talking anecdotal, I've never had a Somali go, what is his name? Amadou Diallo, years ago getting shot by cops in New York City. I believe he was Somali, going for his, oh boy. Maybe this was ill-advised. Going for his wallet. I've just never personally experienced any issues, even on YouTube with Somalis in the United States, just kind of acting like they're white. So there we go. So at some point, the link for the panel should drop into the chat. If it doesn't, I'll force it. We are gathered here today to review uh, a Seymour show from the other day. Seymour was up there, Questions to Ponder was up there, and it was just a shit show. It's like, man, it's like Seymour is known for some shit shows, but this one was special enough that that I'm like, dude, I have to review this. And here's the deal. I probably wouldn't care, but of course, you know, with people like Seymour and some other channels, if I'm in the chat, the show suddenly becomes all about me. So Seymour has threatened to strike my channel if I show quote his content. Well, my pushback is I am your content on many shows. Definitely on major parts of this show, I'm the content. I'm going to show what the fuck I want to show. And to do him one better, just to say it up front, I have taken the YouTube video, I have copied it to my local device, and I have altered it. So strike me, attempt to do it. Probably I'll be able to reverse anything you want to do. But you know what? This is one time where I'm just going to say right to Seymour himself, fuck you, do your worst. A strike isn't going to take down the channel. So here we go. So this is the blessed event here. So, and I don't even remember the name of the show. He called it Reasons the Black Man is Every Man's Father. If I recall, it never even got to, Seymour's shows never get to whatever the title's about. There's just too much ratchetness that he and his fellow interlocutors on these fucking YN panels. As I said, it's a shit show. I don't even know why he uses show titles. He should just call it shit show and then number it. So here we go. And I will comment as need be. And again, the link should drop in a minute. If it doesn't, I'll drop it. And anyone who wants to come up, because I know Imperius and Mariah, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about this show. Ponder's a messy bitch. And if she's pretending that she is a victim, oh boy, she is a classic victimizer pretending to be a victim. She has some boutique views about Black culture. Just a bunch of boutique views. And a lot of her boutique views are directly about me. If she or CM thought I was going to let this pass, were they wrong. I don't get intimidated by two fucking little pipsqueak YN. That's the first alteration. Let me know if the volume's good as well.
Yeah. It's a motherfucking Sunday fun day at holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only, the hostess who does the mostest. See motherfucking Haliday.
Jesus. This dude is
How
weird.
y'all doing today? It's your boy Haliday C. We back for another rendition of holiday season, bitch. I hope everyone's doing well today. I think it's a pretty greasy topic, to say the least. Very good one, actually. What's the deal, NPC? Shit. we kind of tapped on this last night. I was thinking about a topic, and why not this one? I think it's a great one. No one's talking about it, and this what happens when great minds come together. Like, that's why I cannot bring myself around like motherfuckers who just argue all the time, like you were saying, because that shit brings down your vibration level of thinking when you're constantly just having to be in that animalistic mode of just fight or flight. You know what I'm saying? It sucks that a young man like me has to be the one to elaborate this. But hey.
Where does this motherfucker get the idea that he's still a young man? You got about 2 baby mamas, a few. Oh, by the way, I did comment during this, but as you can see, I was coughing even then. So again, this is a file, a local file to my computer. To my computer that I have altered and thrown up a fair use. I want CM to try and strike this just for my curiosity. YouTube has no idea that I'm using this because I'm not playing it from YouTube. So good luck with the strike, fella. Kids, and he's still young. Dude, you need to be taking care of your responsibilities instead of being on fucking YouTube.
Somebody got to be the adult. Shout out to you, Gabe. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it just gets disheartening because, just like the title says, like, black man, we're held to a higher standard because we're everyone's father. And with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So, I had to raise my black son. I couldn't raise my Caucasian sons. Because that's, you know what I'm saying, my Caucasian son might feel a little empty. But I gotta raise I gotta raise more creators. I can't raise more humans. I mean, it's just not a racial topic. It might make some people uncomfortable, but deep down, they know the truth. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to be quiet. Good morning.
How the fuck do you raise a child if you're not there? Dude is just totally deluded. Debased. Debased might be a better word.
I'm enjoying my coffee. What an eventful last night.
Yeah, and this silly woman. She is a classic example of putting lipstick on a pig. She comes in with that sing-song pleasant voice. Dude, she is a viper underneath the lipstick and the voice.
And I noticed you were also busy on Strawberry Fields with
Huh?
The Postman.
The Postman. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I just did that after I was like bored and didn't have nothing else to do. But they blocked me out the chat. But yeah, I don't consider like people like him a black man. Or it's pretty sad when you got like.
When you said failed light skin, I still to this day will never stop laughing. And it's so true. Like it really is so true. To be a failed light skin out of California, an entire state that is here for you, and you cannot even make do in that state. Just
okay, I don't know what her fascination with California is. As I pointed out in the past, and we'll point out again, California doesn't have the kind of black population that makes it any sort of cultural like force. Yeah, you got rap music, but West Coast rap is there still West Coast rap? So two things. Okay. Both these two people are outliers, in my opinion. They have boutique views of what Black culture is. I'm somewhat surprised at someone who's supposedly well educated like Ponder. She has no clue what she's talking about. She is just an oddball. Seymour is just uneducated, so I don't expect better of him. They're both shit talkers and racists.
A total and complete failure. There's so much to be said, but I will go on mute, CM, and I will wait for you. Oh, there was so much to be said from last night.
Yeah, I kind of missed it because like I was kind of on the phone a lot of times.
I'm
So
gonna
couldn't really
speed
hear.
this up.
So that's
by
why
the
I
way.
called in Ertz because I wanted to go on somebody's panel and talk some shit, but they blocked me out the chat. They blocked me off the panel. But it's just like these people like him, like they're sorry excuse for black men. I don't consider them black men. I don't consider them Californians.
Okay, people block Seymour out of the chat and won't let him up on panels because he is not a troll. He's just unpleasant. Okay. People just, I personally, he's good sometimes, but he can be rather unpleasant. And the stuff he says isn't funny.
Oh no, he's not a black man. Art's not black. Art's not.
Oh yeah, let me elaborate on that because I have witnessed dude CM on Art's channel. Maybe it was night before last, and Latino for Trump's channel last night. Dude is just not liked. He will come up. He will come up and immediately start talking shit. He won't even say, "Hey, like, how you doing? How's everybody?" This motherfucker just comes up and starts talking shit. And again, it's not a matter of roasting or not roasting, being good at it or not good at it. The dude is just unpleasant to talk to sometimes. He thinks he knows more. He'll talk about your bloodline. He'll talk about your nose. He'll talk about all this shit, all this racist shit. But then you'll ask him, like, why did Ponder, talk like this on your panel? Well, what can I do? So the motherfucker talks shit, talks about what a great YouTube host he is, but he can't control the people on his panel. And I have comments on that, but I don't feel like coughing while I'm laughing. Dude, you are not all that. And the reason people keep like shit canning you from their panels is you're just not pleasant. Nobody wants to hang around people like you.
Black at all.
But I don't consider him a Californian either. Like, where is he? Like, people in California don't look like that.
No.
It's not really about dark skin or light skin. It's about your attractiveness. It's about your hair, your skin complexion, how you glow.
It's the energy. Okay, remember, I'm not from there. I'm just speaking about my experience with the California people. I'm not from there. There's the energy. There's the vibe. Okay, so when I was in school, when I first moved into the dorms, like I told you, the school I went to, I'm telling you, like 1/3 California. I kid you not. And I told you why. And I actually need to go into greater detail as to why so many kids from California have to go out of state for college. That's a different conversation. There was this one kid, I will never forget his name. His mother was Asian, very, very, very petite. His father was a white guy, like very tall, very tall. The only reason I noticed him is because his dad and my brother like said hi to each other. Like, and they're like, my brother's like 6'7" at that time in high school, pretty tall kid. And I remember his dad, but the guy who moved into my dorm, he was about my height, not too tall, maybe like my height at that, like 5'8", 5'9".
You know what? I was going to make a comment. Let me let this play out. This woman is just embarrassing herself.
I'll tell you, he was fine. I'm being honest with you. Like, he had that California, like, I think he was around a lot of black guys because he could do the crip walk. He just loved hip hop. He hated Jay-Z, and explained why. And he just like, I'm telling you, and all those white girls loved him because he had that California, like he had that. I don't know how to explain it. Just
that Cali swag.
Yes, CM. Yes,
like you said, it's
yes.
Like it's
and that was my first time seeing it from a half Asian, half white. But he moved just like a black West Coast kid. Like his cadence, the way he spoke. That was the first time I actually saw the Crip Walk, the very first time. Oh my! And he like did it in like the dorm hallway. Those white girls loved him. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! And he had like that shaved head, and he was from Cali. He was just California. He was. And he was really, and I was just really, really cool with him. Like he lived right across from me, and he actually had a white guy who lived with him. Like they shared the dorm, but the white guy was super, super, super dorky. And then like the half Asian, half white guy had like girls in and out of his dorm because everybody like he was like voted like just fine. I mean, the white girls, the black girls, everybody just adored him because he had the California. He had the energy. Like there was just a way he moved, and you know how these white girls are. Like everybody liked it. Like everyone did. Like I'm being very, very serious.
I bet she wasn't one of the girls in his dorm room though.
Serious with you, and he had a well-shaped head. He was fine.
Oh god,
he was what? I'm sorry. Okay, I'll be quiet. Gabriel wants to be what's the conscious right now? I'll be quiet. I thought we were talking about Black Panther, father of all civilization. That is true. Like that's not even a question.
We're held to a higher standard, so like that's why you're kind of on top of it too, because black men like Ertman and even CT, they're not real black men.
But when it comes to the culture, think about what I'm saying. Gabriel, I don't like. Well, I mean, Gabriel, you got that little Californianess. I do. I just have a special love for California. I'm not even from there, but when you're clear.
And this is what I mean about. Well, I have two things to say. First off, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, California is on like is like an outpost of black culture. You know, people from Nightish to CM to other people will tell me about their grandfather or their grandmother. Okay, well, just because your granddaddy came from Mississippi, that doesn't make you an expert or, it doesn't mean you have your pulse on black culture. And I'm going to be biased, and I've said it before. I think the center of black culture is in the Southeast, Georgia, South Carolina, Georgia, Panhandle of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and then maybe a bit of Texas. California is like the frontier. Listening to this Cali black talk about black culture and listening to is Ponder. I've heard she's from Canada. Listening to these two misfit toys talk about black culture is hilarious. And they don't let me up on the panel. You'll find out this in a minute. Not like I was going to go up there. They don't have enough knowledge for me to have a productive conversation with.
Clearly around other black guys, it rubs off because how is someone half Asian, half white, but with like that Cali black boy swag, and everybody just adores him. Everyone. But remember, I'm going to school outside of California. But when you have that, like just California hip hop, West Coast, just in and of itself, if you grow up listening to it, it rubs off on you in a good way. Right. Like it's just true. Like you don't even have to.
It rubs off on you in a good way. This girl is strange. And I say girl because she sounds like a girl with all this fucking fawning. I wonder if she was in and out of his dorm room. I bet not.
To be black, just coming from the culture, especially that late 80s, 90s, like, like the kids, like I grew up off Suge Knight. I grew up off like just like Death Row, like that alone.
Like the Northern Cali rap, like
yes, it just does something that those of us, we love it about like even like the white boys. There's something about it. We just can't help it. Like look at even like hip hop. Like look how hip hop, Cali hip hop transcended into like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're not even black, They're white boys, but they still have like hip hop. Like LA hip hop is it's everywhere. Like you can just feel it. It permeates. It's just like energy. Look at Lenny Kravitz. He's not even like he's rock, but he still has like that black.
I wonder if she knows. I saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers at the University of Georgia in like 1987. So it would have been, about the same time as hip hop was becoming popular. But I don't know enough about music to actually say that the Red Hot Chili Peppers were a product of hip hop. Sure, they may have picked some of it up, but I mean, they were kind of doing that Red Hot Chili Pepper thing back in like 1986, 87. I wonder if she knows that.
Like that black LA swag. Everybody knows it. Think of it. Look at NWA. Everyone from NWA is like a multi-millionaire and is huge. Eazy-E has passed away. Look at Snoop Dogg. He's still hella successful. Snoop Dogg is still super successful. And his girlfriend is Martha Stewart. Look at Ice Cube.
Now, how is having Martha, number one, he's married, if I recall. And how is having Martha Stewart, this woman's like over 80, how is that some sort of accomplishment for a rapper? Again, she's got some boutique views. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't get it. But she sounds like a fucking lunatic.
Look at Dre.
So having an 80-some-year-old woman as your girlfriend is success? Oh, this girl is strange. And she is a girl.
Men, like these are some of the most successful men out of hip hop, and they came from NWA, which is straight California. Think about that. Tupac is still beloved, and he's not even from California, but his record company is California Death Row. Like, think how California has just done so much, just like for the American culture, just not even hip hop, just black men, California, just that culture alone, just California black men. Never mind everywhere else. So, like, and it's been like 30 years now.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's true. It's been like 30 some odd years. How do they know Tupac in Eastern Europe? They do. From Baltimore to West Side. Look at West Side Connection. How do I even know who West Side Connection is? I don't know how. I'm not even from there. But I know who Dub Sing and Mac Tenor. I don't know. Like, how do these things happen? That's just black guys, like California. Like, it's just true. It really has done something.
But the black culture in California, though.
Black culture in California is just so deep. Like it's Hollywood, it's hip hop, it's
the gangs.
So listen to this. So the gangs are deep black culture. Hollywood is deep black culture. Dude, just in the past 10 years, there have been protests about how Hollywood overlooks black actors, whole controversy about British blacks playing roles like Harriet Tubman and 12 Years a Slave. This woman literally is just high on caffeine and just yammering, apparently just to keep CM enthralled. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, but at 61, I know Hollywood is not deep black culture unless your name is Butterfly McQueen. She sounds like a fucking idiot.
It's a different conversation.
But it's just like I was saying,
Zuckerberg is not even from.
Look at how Seymour just brought her back down to earth. It's the gangs.
California, like just how is hip hop still? Oh gosh, LA, like basketball. Gavin Newsom, like he's still deep, like just like basketball, the culture. And the white girls love you, and you got the white girls love you too.
No, I was actually telling somebody about this the other day, like whenever like Atlanta music, like the down south, like 808 Mafia, like Lex Luger, that's really a Cali sound. and if I want to say it's not all the producers, they have to go sign in Cali, and like you know what I'm saying. So those beats are definitely Cali influence. Every good beat is Cali influence. Those New York beats, like what they call it, like boom bap rap. That's just trash. Like I like shit with rhythm, shit with.
Okay, so the Dirty South is a West Coast sound. Now he could be right. I honestly don't know. Somebody tell me if he's right about that. I don't mind giving him his props because he is fucking ratchet and ghetto and shit. He's got to have some expertise, but I've just never gotten the impression that Andre 3000 was that influenced, or at least musically, by a West Coast sound. Could be.
Like fast paced. That's how like I was raised growing up. Like I wasn't raised like down south to slow, slurred. Like I think quick. Like you know what I'm saying. That's why I like music with a lot of rhythm, music with a lot of pace. And Cali, we just got so many different sounds. But like I was telling somebody the other day, it's the G-funk sound that we stuck with. That's the main sound that we will never let go of that G-funk sound.
But rhythm is life, and life is rhythm. That was the first like rap song I ever learned. I kid you not. I learned it in summer camp. That was the first
You
rap
know
song
something I never told you about it?
What?
You're about to laugh.
Oh my goodness. What
So
is
you know, I used to love Michael Jackson so much that I didn't even like rap until I heard Brother Lynch on. Like, his rap was like too lame for me type shit. I remember when I was like 5 years old, remember the Michael Jackson History album?
Of course.
I begged my mom to get it. Cause like I was like that, like super like I was like retardedly smart when I was a kid. Like I used to just like I was telling somebody, like I used to watch like, you know how cartoons and like shit back in the day used to have like the lesson at the end. I was a kid that like remembered the lesson instead of like the cartoon type shit. Like,
I always loved the lesson at the end. That was the best thing about this.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they always had the lesson. I love that. I still randomly think about that. Okay, man, I'm going to have to bring this up, and it ties to what happened last night. I want.
So, folks, according to Mr. Seymour, he has submitted whatever you submit to complain about the channel. So I'll play this until I hear from YouTube. But we all now know who's striking whom.
I'm gone.
Hey, if you weren't well liked before, this isn't going to win friends and influence people. See you.
The reason why California is not California is because of that group. I'm being very serious with you. I'm being very, very serious with you. I'm being serious with you. There's no middle class in California. There is no Black middle class. Look who's left in California. You have people like Art. Art is like, he's a 90s old YN. Like he's the last of his time.
I wouldn't even say that. He's like the reject version of that.
Who can't leave because he lives at home with his mother, the postman. Like he's just like a time gone, done, spent. And you see how he moves, like just the bitch assiness that comes out of that guy. Like it's just a bad look. Like that whole, like it's just like this time has just gone. And a big reason for that is because there isn't a discernible Black middle class. The white boys were in the garage producing music. They have a guitar. The black kids were just in the streets. They were in the cars. They were at the beach. They were in school.
So her assertion is Black culture has a demise because California doesn't have a Black middle culture. Where the fuck does she get this from? Where are her statistics? She sounds like a crank. I don't know any more about California than she does. She probably knows more. But she's talking culture. Like culture. She just sounds like really just, she sounds like she needs some dick.
They were together, they were dancing. Like, and there was such a synergy between like the white kids and the Black kids. I can't even tell you, like I just brought this up. What is it? Okay, so there is a white guy from California, Pasadena, California. His name is David Lee Roth. He was huge. He was with Van Halen. That Art doesn't even know. Let's say Art's not from California. Like he just says and does things that's just not California. But I digress.
A lot of people do that shit on here.
Oh yeah, Art. She talks. Both she and CM they talk much shit about you. As much shit. And y'all excuse me. I thought I was over this. I haven't been coughing most of the day until I started talking a lot. They just talk much shit. And Dan, I literally said, I don't know that much about rap. I didn't grow up with it. But there's some doubts. It just doesn't sound like, she is right on a lot of things. And I know without a doubt, she's wrong about Cali being like some mecca of Black culture. It just simply isn't true. That part I know.
Yeah. So what happened was back in the day.
So a non-Californian is going to criticize someone who wasn't born in California but lives in California? Oh, this girl has no critical thinking skills.
So after World War II, there was a boom. A 90s old, the postman. I'm gonna start calling him that. He's the postman. That's what happened to these 90s old YN that work for the government. It's a set paycheck and he has pension because he can't do anything else. There's nothing else for him to do. They made bad moves and now this is where they are. Either you had to leave or you're working for USPS for the government. That's all he can do. Let him deliver these mail. That's about it.
But at least he has a job. The man you're talking to is a baby daddy, and you're acting like CM has done something, and CM isn't contributing because he knows he ain't shit. You know what? This woman is a YN enabler.
I mean, Art's baby boy. Like Art's Jody, except he's fat and not fine. Like he's Jody. Like that. He's lucky even, but
he's a gay version of Jody because he likes boys.
Oh yeah, he does. Art is. I mean, it's not a problem, but I mean.
No, it's just a problem. I don't judge you, but it's just
Art has a job.
But he's Strawberry Fields.
What job does CM have?
I know they broke up. But he has
Art
Strawberry Fields.
hasn't
But he's in the right
been
place to be like
to
that.
jail.
What happened?
He has a lot of boyfriends.
Oh my God.
I can't even keep up anymore.
Yeah, I should have stopped that. But I honestly don't know what gives CM the right to talk shit about other people. Art and I have had our disagreements, but they've mostly been about culture and that sort of thing. And people disagree on culture and what is Black. You can disagree on some of the history, but as far as I know, Art is a responsible father. You can hear his kids in the background. That's more than a lot of people that are in the chat right now.
You don't pretend like you like girls anymore.
Pull over, classic. That's not Van Halen. That's David Lee Roth. But Gabriel, David Lee Roth is the one who introduced Earth, Wind, and Fire to Eddie Van Halen. So think about that. David Lee Roth. So after the 1960s, they had busing after Brown versus Board. So they forced integration amongst white kids and Black kids. Okay, fine. However, it did work out, especially in California, because it introduced new music to both sides. So you have the Black kids getting more into like rock music. We love Chuck Berry. Don't get me wrong, Chuck Berry, because we all know Black people, rock and roll is Black. It is.
You ever heard that Black man play that guitar?
It's always Chuck. I mean, look at Chuck. Look at Chuck. Okay, that's another conversation. When you look at like punk rock, when you look at British rock music, it is 100% influenced by Black men from the military. Case in point, the Beatles. The Beatles are from Liverpool. They're from Liverpool. Who else is in Liverpool? One of the largest United States military base in the world is in the UK, Liverpool. Don't get it twisted. Let's all remember, Paul McCartney and John Lennon were and Ringo and George Harrison were heavily influenced by Black music. Wherever there is a United States military base, there's going to be Black men. Wherever there's a United States military base and Black men, there's going to be music. When you look at where there's music, like that real music, there's always a U.S. military base. And there's always black men. Black men, when they're just chilling, like they're going to, like the rhythm. Black men spread rhythm and melody around the world, primarily through the military, primarily back then, World War I, World War II. But I digress. But my point is, David Lee Roth mentioned that he was a participant.
Listen to this disrespect of fucking Black culture in U.S. history. So those Black soldiers, sailors, Marines, Air Force, they didn't go overseas to fight for their country. They went to spread rhythm. Listen to this disrespect. And listen to this Black man up on the panel just nodding his head and going, "You right." Dude, the disrespect of Black war fighters, it's disgusting.
In busing. So he was bused to Black schools. That is what made David Lee Roth David Lee Roth. He grew up off Black music. He even said so. He's always around Black. He was just cool like that. Like the white boy. Just always around Black. Just always around Black people, especially back then. Just the music. And it's California. You're all outside. You have the ocean, like the weather. You're all just out there. David Lee Roth was already listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Maurice and that Maurice in his falsetto. He's the one who introduced Eddie Van Halen to like that Black music, because Eddie Van Halen before it was real heavy metal, real into Black Sabbath. He and his brother, they got into more melody, harmony through David Lee Roth. Moreover, Gabriel, then by the mid 80s, Eddie Van Halen was working more with Quincy Jones. The whole reason